Okay, let's dive into something really interesting today. Most of us, we've gotten pretty used to AI doing amazing things with text,
Mm.
maybe creating images, even code.
Yeah, the 2D stuff is becoming quite familiar.
Exactly. But taking that leap into 3D,
Hmm.
into game design, that's always felt like a whole different level of complexity
Yeah,
until maybe now.
it's definitely a frontier.
So today, our mission here is to really explore how AI is starting to reshape 3D game creation. We're looking specifically at the Roblox environment, actually.
Hmm.
And you, listening, you're essentially getting a shortcut here. We're going to unpack how you can imagine and then actually build a playable 3D game world with AI, something potentially brand new.
And it's worth saying up front, this stuff is still super early days. It's nascent technology.
Right. Good point.
But even so, what's being demonstrated already is, well, it's pretty impressive. So this deep dive, we're looking at what AI can actually pull off right now in this 3D space.
So where does it even begin? How do you start this creation process?
It actually starts pretty simply with just a text prompt.
What you'd use for an image generator.
Exactly like that. You just described the scene you're picturing. So the example we looked at was a stylized Japanese village in winter.
Okay.
But you can get more specific. They added things like a central pagoda, right? And a few houses with pine trees around it.
Ah, so giving it more detail helps guide it.
Precisely. And things like a traditional red gate and lanterns. You feed it these visual cues.
And then what happens? What's the AI doing behind the curtain?
Well, once you give it the prompt, the AI model gets to work. It analyzes that text, breaks it down, and then it starts producing the code needed to actually build the scene.
Code. So it's writing game code on the fly.
Yes, essentially. And what's really striking is that you see this transformation happening live. It's not like you wait 10 minutes for a render.
You see it building.
Yeah. First, it kind of converts the prompt into these spatial boxes. Think of it like rough placeholders showing where objects will go. It maps out the scene.
Okay, like a blueprint.
Sort of. Then it generates the actual 3D objects, the pagoda, the houses, and then it applies the textures. It all just materializes right there.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But what about, collaboration or just changing your mind? Can
Yeah.
you interact with it while it's building?
That's another really compelling part, yes.
Right.
While the AI is doing its thing, users are like in the demo, the audience can just chime in with ideas.
On the fly.
Totally. So you've got this serene Japanese winter village appearing and someone yells out, add a cute anime wolf.
Huh? Sure.
Or needs a snowmobile. And my favorite was someone asking for palm trees.
Palm trees in a Japanese winter village.
Yep. Maybe stick them near the gate, someone suggested. It doesn't seem to care if it's geographically logical. It just adds it.
So it just keeps taking input, like a few animals next to the trees or whatever.
Exactly. It just incorporates these spontaneous, sometimes kind of weird additions without really skipping a beat.
Wow. Okay, but how does that look? Does it end up being a mess? Or does it actually hang together?
That's the surprising part. The results are actually pretty impressive aesthetically. The AI manages to capture the overall vibe of the scene.
So it feels coherent.
Yeah, globally, everything seems to fit reasonably well. It got the environment right, the background.
Yeah.
It correctly made the pagoda the tallest thing, placed the houses and trees nicely around it. Even with all the random inputs, it holds together visually.
That's quite something. But what if something is just wrong? Like if one of those palm trees looks terrible next to the pagoda, do you have any control or is it locked in?
No, you absolutely have control. It's not like a final render you can't touch. If something feels off, you just grab it and move it around.
Really?
Yeah. There was this funny moment with a huge truck that somehow ended up in the scene.
A truck.
And the user just, selected it and dragged it out of the way. Same with that anime wolf, or maybe it was a fox, the cute animal. Anyway, you can just pick it up and place it somewhere else.
Oh, okay. So it's flexible. You can iterate, tweak things immediately.
Exactly. It's very hands-on, very immediate feedback and adjustment.
So we've got the scene. We can adjust it.
Yeah.
But is it just static? Or can we make it feel more alive?
Right. And this is where being built on a proper game engine comes in. It allows for much more immersive stuff than just placing objects. You can add effects.
Like what?
Well, for the winter village, you could actually make it start snowing, just trigger a snow effect, and suddenly the whole scene feels more dynamic, more atmospheric.
That's neat. Just adding weather. But what about the objects themselves? That snowmobile, for instance. Is it just a prop?
Now you're getting to something really fascinating. The AI doesn't just create the look of the object, it can actually produce the code to make it functional.
Wait, really functional how?
In the example, you could literally hop on the snowmobile and drive it around the village you just created.
No way. So it becomes instantly playable.
Pretty much. You're not just looking at a static diorama, you're in it, interacting with the elements the AI helped generate.
That changes things quite a bit.
It absolutely does. And it leads to this other concept they mention, which they called 4D functionality.
4D, like time travel.
Not quite. Here, 4D refers to the dimension of time within the scene. The AI can introduce dynamic changes related to time.
Okay, like what kind of changes?
Like switching the time of day, you could go from bright daylight to, say, a really nice sunset, or shift it fully into night.
Oh, interesting. Dynamic lighting.
Exactly. And here's a really cool detail. When they switched it to night mode, remember those lanterns from the initial prompt?
Yeah, the red gate and lanterns.
Well, at night, they automatically started lighting up.
Whoa. So the AI understood that lanterns emit light and should turn on at night.
It seems so.
Ooh.
It demonstrates this kind of nuanced understanding of the objects and their function within the context of time and environment. Makes it feel much more real.
That is clever. And,
Yeah.
all this tech, it really taps into something fundamental about gaming, right? The social aspect.
Absolutely. The joy of creating and playing together.
It's fun to basically connect, build, and play with friends. And there was that anecdote, right, about someone named Maurice.
Yeah, he apparently joined the session from California, jumped straight into the world they were building.
And just started driving the snowmobile around.
Yep, fun driving around immediately. It just perfectly shows that collaborative potential. It's not just one person designing in isolation. You can build and experience these worlds together instantly.
So wrapping this up then, what's the core takeaway here for someone listening?
Well, I think you've really just had a preview of the transformative power AI could have for 3D creation. We're moving beyond static models.
Towards dynamic, interactive,
Mm.
even shareable worlds built incredibly fast.
And thinking bigger picture, this really does feel like it could be the future of 3D gaming, or at least a major part of it.
The speed, the flexibility, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you to ponder. Given how quickly AI can now generate these playable, interactive 3D worlds you can build and explore with others, what does that actually mean for creativity and game design?
Big question.
Could it change who gets to be a game developer? If the barrier to entry is just describing your imagination, could it even change how we define what a game is when an idea can become a shared playable reality almost instantly?
Lots to think about there. How does imagination translate directly into experience?
Exactly. What happens next? Definitely something to keep an eye on.